Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It's Wednesday, June 19th or Juneteenth. And as a result, by the way, all U.S. markets are closed today. And so that means that you can listen to us and then move on your way and do something that will bring you deeper in touch with Juneteenth. Now, meanwhile, I would like to bring Mark Talercio onto the microphone with me so I can regale him with my recent adventure or misadventures. So, Mark, hello.
Hello. You just said move on your way. I guess you probably won't be doing much of that today.
No, because late on Monday evening, I was very calmly walking down a street with no imperfections in the pavement, no pothole, no nothing, when all of a sudden my ankle buckled out from underneath me, and I am now icing and nursing a very bad, I hope, just sprain. And hopefully no tear of anything and no break of anything. So I have to just tell you, Mark, that I cannot blame this on anyone but my faulty ankles. It's terrible.
Did you go down?
You know what? I just want to say I was kind of proud of myself. I did not. And this is the weirdest thing. Like, you've played sports before. Sometimes your ankle kind of buckles under and you just kind of walk it off and it's fine, right? So I did that and, in fact, took the dogs out for another walk after it happened and prepared my dinner for my lovely bride. And then I sat down and got off of it and put ice on, and then it started to kill me. I couldn't walk. I crawled last night before my friend dropped off a cane for me.
Is it any black and blue yet?
Not yet. I believe that will be the next phase, and I am icing as we speak. Here's the theater of the mind, ladies and gentlemen. I do have an ice pack on my ankle, and it is propped up. I don't like it too high because too high is bad, and then your whole leg falls asleep. So it is right now. I have a little step stool ladder set up that is exactly the height of my desk chair, and I'm talking to you because I am so devoted to the Jill on Money audience. I canceled all of my television stuff. I said, I'm out of it. No way. Cannot go on. I was supposed to be on the air this morning. And I said, I can't do it. Cannot get on the air on the 19th. Forget about it. And so that's where I am. Poor me. All right. It could be worse. So I'll move on. I am so happy to be talking to you, Mark, because it really doesn't hurt right this second. So that's good. And we've got to do some business. I want to remind everybody that as we approach the end of the month, you've got to start getting yourself in gear for our next webinar. That live webinar is coming up. It's around the corner, Tuesday, June 25th. It's at 7 Eastern time, and we are focusing on Social Security. We get so many questions about claiming strategies, about whether or not the Social Security system is going broke. How should younger people plan on Social Security? Should they use it at all as part of their retirement planning? And we have Heather Schreiber. She is the author and expert on Social Security. She will be joining us on Tuesday, June 25th. And that makes me so happy because I love when someone else is an expert about something. I just get to ask her all the questions. If you would like to join us for that webinar, you must be a member of Jill on Money Live, our subscription service, where for $35 you have access to 4 quarterly live webinars. Next one again with Heather Schreiber about Social Security, and special bonus video content that lives behind our very low paywall. So again, just $35, and you can join us. Hey, by the way, if you'd like to maybe do something for free, then just go to jillonmoney.com and bookmark the site, because Mark does such a great job. We refresh the website all the time with new stuff, new blogs, new videos, resources, and you can always sign up for the free weekly newsletter. Mark does a great job on that. It comes out every Friday. Okay, so Mark, I'm going to turn myself where my face is facing the microphone, but my leg is sticking out. So if I sway off the mic, you'll pop in and say, no, talk more into the mic. All right?
Aye, aye, Captain.
So this is a question from Joe, who writes, we're thinking of retiring at the end of this year. I'm turning 59 and my wife will be 61. We have no debt. modest lifestyle, and expenses of about $50,000. We have about $600,000 in both retirement and brokerage accounts, $120,000 of which is Roth. Our home value, $300,000. A rental property. God, so many people own rental properties. Amazing. Rental property is worth $120,000 and it's bringing in $20,000 after expenses. That is a good rental property, friends. They've got about $500 a month in dividends, and they'd like to draw down from the taxable retirement account to make up the difference. Okay, so let's look at that. So remember, they only need 50 grand. This is going to be a no-brainer, I can tell already. My wife will take her Social Security at 62. She'll make $900 a month. Then I will wait until 65 and get about $2,500 a month, and she can increase her benefit through the spousal benefit. So, oh, by the way, we're going to ask a lot of Heather Schreiber about this particular strategy. We will get low-cost medical coverage due to our income until we go on Medicare. We earned about $130,000 in combined income, but we did live well below that. We plan on spending most of the days at our cabin in the country, keeping busy as we work on the rental property when I'm bored. We want to travel. We've got about $100,000 set aside in T-bills. We told our kids that if there is any inheritance left, it will probably be equity of whatever real estate is left after we die. Okay. We have roughly $4,500 in monthly expenses, and I'm putting away 50% in a pre-tax 401k, keeping our tax rate low this year to help transition into NYS, New York State healthcare for zero premium plans, so medical and retirement will be free with minimal copays, no upfront deductibles, and if we need more money, we can pull from our cash reserves for travel so it won't count against our income. Okay, cash on hand is a good strategy. Rental property, nice income. Hope we can travel. Have 2 years in emergency fund. Thanks for your insight. Hey, Mark, this sounds like a no-brainer. This is like an easy, done deal. You know, it's a funny thing. On one hand, I get that they want to keep their income low, I guess until 65. And then they start having a little bit more income. I wonder if they could just wait till 67. Because won't his benefit be slightly better than that and her benefit then as well? I mean, at 65, you can absolutely qualify for Medicare, but you don't have to claim your Social Security retirement benefit. But, you know, other than that and a little bit of playing around with taxes, I think this looks really good. And boy, I'll tell you that rental, unbelievable. I mean, that's the kind of thing that I love about rentals. Like when you have a rental like that, that is amazing. It's just that we've talked to a lot of people who have rentals, and it's like, oh, I've $800,000 in real estate, and the rental income doesn't really stand up to that. So that's why some of you, when you say like, oh, that I don't like rentals, I do, but they have to work well. It's like anything, right? The investment really has to be determined on a case by case basis. Okay, this is from Vinny, who says, what do you recommend people do as a hedge against inflation or hyperinflation when it comes to their long-term savings and retirement accounts? What about actual hard money, hard assets like gold and Bitcoin, which can't be printed? You know, it's so funny. I was just thinking about this because my friend Josh Brown, who is one of the Compound and Friends hosts, wrote a beautiful blog post about Bitcoin and how it has essentially become another asset that stands in for gold. One way is to look at it as an inflation hedge, but the other way to look at it is sort of like the Armageddon hedge, that when really bad stuff happens, gold or Bitcoin, that may be seen as a safe place, not safe place, but a defensive place. But, you know, obviously both gold and Bitcoin, very, very volatile and very risky. So when I think about long-term savings and inflation, I think that's the whole point of being an investor. You know, stocks actually do very well in inflationary environments over the long term. Like the idea is that, you know, if you look at not 2022, which was such a horrible year in general, just because things got away from us, but look at 23. Inflation was high still, and stocks did well. This year, stocks are doing well. So if you wanted to have some small amount of your portfolio in Bitcoin or gold, let's say 5%, sure. But do I think that a well-diversified portfolio over time is going to be a really easy ticket to get where you want to go? Yep, I like that too. Okay, this is from Kim, who writes, I recently divorced and stayed in the marital home. And if I sell, I will receive all of the equity from that sale. Okay. If I were to choose to sell, my next move would be temporary, probably 5 years, until my youngest graduates from high school. The house I live in is large. It's made for a family and two-person income. So the idea of selling is becoming more of a reality, even with the sparse market. My question to you is, what is the smartest move financially if I sell? Since I'm not looking for a forever home, does it make sense to rent for the next 5 years? Or if I were to purchase a smaller home, how much money should I put down on the next house? I stand to make a decent profit off the sale of my current home, but I'm not sure if it would be better to use a good portion or all of that to put down on a new home, or just put the minimum 20% down, save the rest of the equity from my home sale. Also, I'm a veteran, not disabled, so I would qualify for a VA loan. I just think that because it's a short-term horizon, I might be interested in just renting. It kind of depends on the market. If you're in a market where you can snag a rental, a long-term rental, and you can afford that, I am sort of inclined to say maybe we should go that route. Also, we don't really know what's going to happen in your life. It sounds like there's some transition that's going on. Maybe it wouldn't be a bad thing. So what I'd love for you to do is to tell us what it would cost you to rent a home in your market that you would like. And then also follow up and tell us what would it cost to buy the home that you'd be interested in living in for the next 5 years. And then we can do the math with you and look at a VA loan and see if that makes sense. But it kind of sounds like maybe a rental could be pretty good for you. Okay, this is from Daniel, who says, "Hey guys, I'm 44, I'm married, I've got a 6-year-old child. I have absolutely no knowledge of anything that involves investing. In parens, I mean nothing, but I do want to learn. I recently got into a union which will get me a pension, an annuity, and $150,000 a year in salary. Oh my God. My wife makes $100,000 a year and she has a 401k, but she did just get started with that. We recently inherited $100,000 and we want to know what is the smartest move we could make with that money. We plan on adding to that $100,000 on a monthly basis from our pay. We plan to save for our daughter's college, but we don't want to do a 529 in case she decides not to go or whatever else may happen. Thank you, Dan." I'm going to start with the end, which is I would love for you to reconsider the 529, at least for just putting, say, a little bit of money in there. Because remember, there is a new part of the rules around a 529 plan that would allow you to transfer $35,000 to the beneficiary if that money is not used. So if she's 6 years old, you open the account now, that gives her 15 years. The account has to be open for 15 years. Maybe just put like 20 grand in there. And then that is a really tax efficient way for you to invest. And you can get the money out later. So, by the time she's 21, if she didn't go to college, she'll have a nice chunk of money and we can start putting into a Roth. I like that. Now, in terms of your whole situation, I'm feeling a little bit like you may want to seek the advice of an advisor. You don't have to go whole hog. You can maybe talk to one of the big investment firms that can have basically has a robo-advisor, meaning an automatic investment platform, but there's someone there to also guide you. Because as you say, you don't really have any knowledge of this. And so what I think would be helpful is before we start willy-nilly giving you an allocation for this $100,000, we'll always remind you to take care of your big three, which means make sure you've got an emergency reserve fund, make sure you've got no consumer debt or student loans of your own, and make sure that you are putting money into your retirement account. Beyond that, I think creating some sort of allocation for this money that is geared towards both you and your daughter could be helpful. And that would generally mean a balanced portfolio. It's not much more than that. But I'd hate to start doing this without really walking you through the process. And maybe you can get back on the air with us and join us and we can talk to you and you can change your name. It's okay. Otherwise, it would be interesting to start with some sort of large firm, a Vanguard, a Fidelity, a Charles Schwab, where they have access to personal investment and financial advisors that come along with the actual money management. Okay. This is from Gary, who writes about my subject, worst summer job. Okay. Gary says, in 1971, at age 16, I spent the summer working at my father's slaughterhouse. Oh my God. Well, I think say no more. You win with the worst job. My job generally wasn't bad, and I performed a number of tasks, including making hamburger meat, boxing bull meat, cleaning out the cattle pens with a fire hose and a squeegee. So one task that summer, which occurred on a Sunday when the rest of the plant was closed, is something I will not soon forget. It involved pulling hides from the hide pit. I can't do this, Mark. Do I have to read this whole thing?
I mean, I read it before I sent it to you. It was, I don't know. I can read it.
Okay. Mark, go ahead and finish reading this.
You want me to finish? You're having a hard time with this one? Okay. All right. So, something I will not soon forget, and that involved pulling hides from the hide pit. The plant capacity was about 150 cattle a week, mostly bulls. As the hides were removed from the carcass, they were stacking in a 5-foot cement pit. Ugh. Think kiddie pool without the clear water. And they were covered with rock salt. So once the pit was full and when the market was right, the hides needed to be removed from the pit and loaded into the bed of a truck for transport to the leather factory. This was not a skilled task, so I put on my rubber boots and apron, and along with 10 other guys my father had picked up from the local employment office, we waded into the pit, pulled the hides up by the quote-unquote feet, and neatly stacked them into the truck. It was hard work, dirty work, and the rock salt tended to crack the skin on your hands. On the other hand, I met a whole new type of individual in my coworkers, and all in all gained a bit of respect from my father and the other workers in the plant. What did I do with my opportunity at the slaughterhouse? I became an attorney, and I still practice today.
Oh my God. That is so gross. I could not even get through it. Wow. Wow. So
we have one more.
Hold on. I got another one here. Stand by.
Not quite as bad, but up there.
Okay. This is John. Worst summer job. Jill and Mark, I think you will have a tough time beating this example for worst summer job. I spent a summer picking up roadkill for the local highway department. This taught me 3 important things. 1, the importance of your surroundings. If the victim was in a busy part of town, we would bag it and dispose of it. If it was in a quieter area, the victim would get the, quote, aerial burial and would be thrown in the woods. Your treatment in life or death often depends on who is around. 2, the importance of seniority. The year-round employees got to hold the shovel. The summer help had to hold the bag. Sad face. 3, the importance of staying focused and finishing my degree. So I didn't have to pick up roadkill for the rest of my life. That's Jay from Wisconsin. I mean, hard to beat those, man. Really hard to beat those, right?
I'd rather do the roadkill.
I would rather do none of the above. Give me the worst office job. Those are horrible, but I thank everybody for writing in. Were there any ones that you thought were kind of funny also, Mark, like they weren't as severe?
No. I mean, there were some others, but those 2 jumped out at me, obviously.
Oof. That's rough. That is rough. All right, gang, if you have another bad summer job, listen, we're here for you. We'd love to hear it. And it also makes me think about all the kids out there who are like, my friend's daughter just said this. She went on a job interview. She's 21 years old. And she said to her mother, it didn't seem like people were having fun there. I don't know if I want to work there. To which her mother said, work is not supposed to be fun. That's why they call it work. Go back and make sure you write a very nice follow-up.
The key is, as you and I are doing, find something you enjoy doing and find a way to make a living doing it.
Yeah. I mean, but you don't start that way, gang. Come on. I don't know what everyone's thinking about this. Oh, and by the way, Mark, did you hear that? I don't know why, but all of a sudden, the New York Times on their audio, they started doing something about the fire movement again, as if it were brand new. Times, come on. We've been talking about the fire movement for a long time, so get on it. All right, gang, if you've got a financial question, just go to our website, jillonmoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and do let us know if you would like to join us on the air by checking the box. Mark will do everything else. While you're on the website, check out all of our fabulous content that lives there and our YouTube show called Jill on Money, powered by The Compound. You can subscribe to us on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your favorite podcast. Do me a favor, lift someone up, change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow.